Hello, UPIKE viewers. Welcome to the Fall 2019 edition of Bear TV News. I'm Grace Maynard.
And I'm Jaleel Amin. We are covering the most recent news around UPIKE and the surrounding community.
In this episode of Bear TV News, UPIKE students experience a Midsummer Night's Dream, get spooked at Horror Fest, dance the night away on Halloween, and learn the meaning of friendship. All this and more on today's episode of Bear TV News.
Fall weather is in full effect right now as we wrap up Halloween festivities and move towards celebrating Thanksgiving. However, at least for one night last week, it felt a lot more like summer on UPIKE's campus as students experienced a Shakespearean classic.
UPIKE students attended a production of Shakespeare's famous play, A Midsummer Night's Dream, in Booth Auditorium on Tuesday, November 5th. The performance was by the American Shakespeare Center, a professional touring group based in Virginia, and was free of cost for all students to attend. Grace Maynard, a UPIKE student who studies theater, appeared in Jenny Wiley Theater's 2017 production of A Midsummer Night's Dream. She reflected on her former role and talked about what parts of the performance she's looking forward to the most in tomorrow's production.
Helena is who I played in the show, and so she's very near and dear to me. I spent a lot of time trying to figure her out, especially the way she talks, because Shakespeare English is very different. I'm very excited for that, and I'm very excited for the play within the play that happens kind of toward the end of the show, because that was my favorite part when we were performing it, so I'm excited to see that again.
While preparing for the arrival of the performers, Dr. Jenna Steigerwalt sat down to talk to me about the production and why she thinks it's important for students to attend professional performances of Shakespearean work.
First, I think it would be remiss and just a bad idea to send students out never having experienced Shakespeare. They don't have to like it, but they should be able to make a decision whether they do or not, because Shakespeare still has such cachet in the world. I mean, we still make Shakespearean films, we still have Shakespearean TV shows, The Lion King is based on Hamlet. So having that sort of background is helpful to be a well-rounded person. Again, you don't have to like Shakespeare, but you can't make that decision without experiencing it. And experiencing it live on stage is the best possible way, with a group that knows what they're doing, and this group does.
Like Dr. Steigerwalt said, this makes the fourth time this group has performed here on UPIKE's campus, and we hope to see them back in the near future for more enjoyable performances. Thank you.
We would like to thank Dr. Jenna Steigerwalt of the UPIKE English program for all she has done to continue to make this such a successful event every year. Thank you, Jenna, for all your work, and thank you, Christian, for that story.
If Halloween is your favorite holiday, there was certainly no shortage of events on campus to keep you entertained this past month. One event in particular gave students the opportunity to spook each other in an extremely creative way.
On October 30th, 2019, the University of Pike's Film and Media Arts program held its second annual Horror Fest, where students had the chance to showcase their homemade horror to their peers and teachers.
To me, what Horror Fest is about, and really what all of our screenings about, are about kind of building a sense of community, experiencing something together. I mean, we can watch films on YouTube and Netflix, but it's not the same as getting together in a shared space and sharing with your friends and your buddies from school this film that you made and having them see it for the first time. There's nothing like it.
I came to Horror Fest just because I wanted to support the FMA program, and a lot of my friends had films, and I just want to come and support them as well.
Many students showed up in support of their friends, this year's turnout dwarfing last year's as many people sat through all 24 films. The event hosted a myriad of scary and funny films entirely student-made, which was the perfect event for kicking off Halloween.
My experience making my film, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. We dealt with Murphy's Law, what can go wrong will go wrong. It happened quite a bit, but we got through it. And, to me, it's worth it just to even have it up on that screen.
Having their work displayed on the silver screen wasn't the only incentive, as $300 worth of prizes were handed out to the winners: third place Angela, second place The Woods, and first place New to the Neighborhood. But this is only the second Horror Fest. So what is to come of future Horror Fests?
I see this continuing to get even bigger and for us to have even more students come, and I can't wait.
The spooky spectacles didn't end on campus with Horror Fest. The very next evening, the Halloween celebrations continued on the dance floor, and I was there to participate. On Thursday, October 31st, Residence Life hosted a Halloween dance in Booth Auditorium. We spoke with Ethan Duncan, who organized the event, about why and how this event was created.
All right, so we did a Halloween dance because for me, I wanted to get the entire campus involved. So the best way, Halloween's coming up, I love Halloween, so me and a few of the residents decided, hey, let's do a dance. So that's basically what happened.
The RAs provided food and drinks along with plenty of candy. There was a costume contest as well as a contest to see who could guess how many pieces of candy were put into a skull.
I think it's great. I love dressing up, and I love parties too. And I like when they do them up here in the university because I don't have a car. So it's very convenient and I like it. I enjoy it.
Students came in their best costumes in hopes of winning the $25 gift card prize for first place.
Yeah, because we all come from different backgrounds and we all get to wear something, and it's a judgment-free zone, so everybody just have a good time out here.
The party was a success. Happy Halloween, everyone. With Bear TV News, I'm Grace Maynard.
Speaking of spooky things, many of us are lightly frightened at the sight of snakes. You may be surprised then to learn that many of our students came out in droves recently to see serpents, lizards, and other reptiles up close and personal. Reporter Adam Cole has more.
It is something you don't see on campus every day, a reptile zoo inside UPIKE's Chrisman Auditorium. The Natural Bridge Reptile Zoo traveled nearly 2 hours just to show off their favorite creatures.
We currently are around 1,600 or 1,700 individual animals. Most of what we have are venomous snakes because we provide venoms for medical research purposes and to make the antivenom here in the United States.
Many curious bears asked, is it friend or foe? Kristen Wiley answered questions and tons of interesting facts about each reptile.
So I was invited here by the biology department to give a couple of presentations today. So the one we just did was for the general public or anyone who was interested, and then I did a presentation for the vertebrate zoology class today as well.
These wonderful animals made it clear they enjoyed the attention from the crowd.
I had a lot of fun at the event. I thought it was really fun seeing all the wildlife, seeing all the biology students, having a good time. It was awesome.
Officials say due to the great turnout, our scaly friends will be able to revisit us again next year.
Well, I've been working at the zoo for 21 years and have been doing this type of outreach program for most of my time there, so quite a while.
The hour-long event attracted a huge crowd. We hope to see them soon. I'm Adam Cole. This is Bear TV News.
What makes a true friend? How do you know who your real friends even are? These are some questions that some of our students confronted in a recent discussion, and I was there to take part.
On Wednesday, November 6th, the UPIKE Black Student Union hosted their first ever campus-wide discussion where students and faculty alike were invited to talk about the concept of friends. Many UPIKE students had a lot to say. We caught up with one UPIKE student to ask her how she felt about the discussion.
And I thought it was really cool just to hear the different ideas that a bunch of different people can have and see how they see things.
We caught up with SGA President William Wheeler after discussion on his views.
It was a great campus discussion. It was the first campus discussion we held this year. There's going to be many more to come. The topic was, what about your friends? The discussion went really well. We kind of brought two groups different together. The females and the males kind of tagged the team against each other because the discussion kind of turned into relationship questions, how friendships can turn into relationships. And it kind of ran off of that. So,
if you missed this one, then Wheeler said there's no worries.
Well, if you missed this one, catch the next one, and you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at upike.bsu.
Reporting from Chrisman Auditorium, I'm Jalil El-Amin, Bear TV News.
Now it's time for the sports update.
Hey everyone, I'm Julia Prinsteiner with your UPIKE Sports Update. For our first story today, we take you behind the scenes of the UPIKE women's bowling team as they prepare for a tournament.
This week, the UPIKE women's bowling team is prepping and practicing for their next tournament up in Beaver Creek, Ohio at the Raider Classic Tournament, November 9th and 10th. UPIKE women's bowling team is ranked #1 in the country, and the Lady Bears are ready to keep fighting hard to keep that spot.
So preparing for this week, we are going as hard as we can. We are practicing Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, workouts on Wednesdays. Girls are even coming in when they're not supposed to and they're practicing. Essentially, everybody wants to do as well as they can, so we're going as hard as we can this week so we can show it this weekend.
Some of the rough patches that we've been going through at tournaments is applying what we go through in practice to a tournament. A lot of the time, we just take practice super easy, and then we get to a tournament and we kind of freak out.
Traveling with the team is my absolute favorite thing. They are an amazing group of girls that I am so glad I can call my sisters.
I think for this coming season, I think it's going to be a learning season. I think the most exciting thing for me is that they're starting to understand how to be a team finally, and I think it's going to be really exciting going through the whole entire year.
I'm Faith Rowe reporting for Bear TV News. Thank you.
Coach Bobby Brown's team finished the tournament strong, with the JV2 team taking home second place, JV1 team coming in third, with varsity coming in fifth. The women's bowling team weren't our only female sports team to compete in a tournament recently. Reporter Dame Tobler has more.
On Friday, November 1st, UPIKE's women's basketball team played in the Appalachian Wireless Classic at the Appalachians Wireless Arena and won on their outstanding defensive effort.
Start practice with defensive slides, so it starts with individual defense. We move into team stuff, and we want to press. We want to pressure the ball. We focus on it every day.
The women's basketball team was also one of the 4 teams in the Classic, and they left the Classic without a loss on their record, led by senior guard Your Lace. And we got her input on how she plans to help the team this year and her goals.
Man, really just keep playing hard for my teammates and get to the championship.
Our team goal is conference championship. That's where it starts, right? We can handle our business in the conference because the conference is so tough, and we know we can compete on a national stage.
This is Damon Tobler, and you're watching Bear TV News.
Now it's time for some turf talk. A major project at Bob Amos Park has been underway that will have a significant impact on our football team.
I'm here at Bob Amos Park on UPIKE's new turf practice field. The field was paid for by a joint effort by the college and the city of Pikeville. The field was built as a means to improve the way our team practiced by giving them their own field on their own time. UPIKE was previously sharing Hambly Athletic Complex with a local high school, which made scheduling practices for the university very difficult. To shed light on the situation, we spoke to many players and coaches who were knowledgeable about the new field, as well as UPIKE's athletic director. Jalen Stone, a redshirt junior offensive tackle, expressed his excitement to have a new facility.
Pretty much going to be like a nice community field. I just can't wait to practice there.
John DeRossett, UPIKE football's linebacker coach and academic advisor, was also very thrilled to take part in such a huge opportunity at the university.
Well, it gives us a place to practice. It gives us some relief on time, and it's something that, you know, we've needed for a long time, and all sports can use it, but as a football program, we surely need it because, you know, there's a lot of play on the Pikeville field down there, and it gives us some time that we can use to where we can get home a little bit early and manage our time better and have a little place that we can call our own. So it's a really good thing to have, and it's turf, so weather doesn't affect it.
A ribbon cutting for the new field was held Friday, November 8th, and featured many speakers, including the City of Pikeville's Mayor, Jimmy Carter, Coach Kelly Wells, and UPIKE's President, Dr. Burton Webb. I'm Jordan Mullins, Bear TV News.
Not all progress comes without problems. Although the new turf field at Bob Amos will be a great resource for our football team, the installation of it has been a small hindrance for our other team.
There has been lots of construction going on at Bob Amos Park in order to lay down the brand new turf. With the workers' schedule lining up with the track practices, you can imagine there would be some conflict. The equipment and noise alone have been an issue that is interrupting practices.
Coach, with all the construction that's been going on, how do you feel about it? Has it interrupted any practices?
Yeah, it's interrupted our practices. We've had to adapt a little bit, but you know, we're growing as an institution, so it's always a positive thing to see new stuff come in, and you know, we just have to adjust and make do with what we have.
This season, the majority of athletes are all freshmen. Very few of the athletes are returning members from the previous year. That leaves a lot of pressure on the more senior athletes to be leaders the young athletes can look to.
Really excited. We have a really young team this year. We have 3 sophomores and the rest of our freshmen. So we have a lot of young athletes on the team, but that does not mean because they're young that, you know, they're going to compete any less than anybody else. I personally feel like we're going to go out strong.
There has been talk of hiring an assistant coach. Coach Espinoza has interviewed several candidates for the position last week.
It's been going well. I want to make sure that we're doing our due diligence and making sure we find the best person that can assist me, and also make sure that they're a great fit for the university.
I'm Cody Moorhead, Bear TV News.
That's all for the UPIKE Sports Update today. I'm Julia Prinsteiner. Go Bears!
Thanks, Julia. Well, that wraps it up for the fall 2019 edition of Bear TV News. Bear TV News will return with a monthly newscast in the spring of 2020. Thank you for watching. I'm Grace Maynard.
And I'm Jalil Alameen. Have a happy holiday season, everyone.